Everyone. My name is St Cyr. I'm a recovering alcoholic addict, and I'd like to really, let everybody know that, like, at the end of the day, I'm a carpenter, I'm a superintendent, I'm a father, I'm a grandfather, and it's all because my employer, took the chance and gave me the opportunity to recover from alcoholism and drugs. And what we need to really be cautious of in today's society is that, like, when we go to work, we need to pay attention to the guys out there who are working with us and what's going on, not just in their performance, but to make sure that they're where they need to be mentally, physically, and they're taken care of. Because sometimes, we'll get caught up in the construction field about where we're at and where we need to get to, and we'll forget about the little people in between. And for me, on my projects, I spend a lot of time communicating with my guys, and getting to understand it and know them, because a lot of them, my best performers, you can see it in them that they'll start to drop off a little bit, and then you'll see them really pick up, and then they'll drop off back off and on again. And when you're paying attention to what they're doing and what their mindset is, they may need some help. And when you get them the help that they need, they may turn out just like me. And I'll tell you a little bit about myself, and the projects that I've managed to complete over the last decade and a half that I've been sober. For the projects that I have completed, I have been award-winning projects, not only by the architects, by the construction industry out in this area, and a good friend Lee. And had they not given me the opportunity to recover, these things would have never transpired. And when I went down that path of recovery, it's amazing how recovery works. Because the other men on the job site that have worked with me for over the decades had seen the change in me, and were really inspired to change themselves. You know what I mean? So we talked, and before you knew it, a company where a lot of people drank on the job, kind of went the other direction, and things changed. There was no more just oh, just go ahead and throw that up there. No, are you going to be safe when you're doing that work? You know what I mean? Because we wanted everybody to go home safe. And the guys, we would communicate about safety and talk about doing things that we never really talked about before. We always talked about, football or sports or this, that, and the other. But once they seen that, at the end of the day, we were going to work, perform a job, and we wanted everybody to go home safely. These guys were coming up with incentives, and coming to me with suggestions. And I have a lot of projects, I want to say, in the last 8 years that I completed where there was no injuries, none. We had a couple, black and blue nails, but other than that, there was no major injuries, or stitches for that matter. But these guys were coming to me and saying, hey, Mark, if we could do this, we'd be able to get done that much faster and that much safer. If we could get this, Mark, did you check this out? I seen it on the internet last night. If we get something like this on site, we can perform our job a lot safer and a lot faster. And this is all possible, you know what I mean? Because my employer gave me the opportunity to recover. And I think that we should all take that opportunity. So if you have an employee that is missing work, or, always seems to be broke or something like that, we need to stop, think about what we're going to say, and approach that person in a kind and loving way, without any stigma, without any, judgment or being harsh, and walk up to them and talk to them like they're a human being, not like they're less than, but like a human being, and give them the message of like, hey, if you need help, it's okay. There's help out there for you. There's maintenance programs out there that are very successful, and there's complete abstinence programs out there. There's 12-step fellowships out there for them. Like, if we can get them into them programs, and when they come back, they're going to be some of the best employees you ever had. They're gonna. I know that's just speaking for myself and the other guys that I've noticed in recovery. When they go to work, they go to work with enthusiasm. They go to work with respect and dignity for their fellow guy, and more importantly, they go to work to perform the job and do it to the best of their ability, and not only above, I want to say above industry standards. I've seen some of my guys that were just like, they're throwing up board, and when they're throwing up board, a lot of times the cuts ain't. Send somebody to recover, and when they come back, you'll notice that their cuts are clean, they're precise, there's not a lot of mistakes, there's not a lot of scrap in the room, and their scrap is stacked up. Their housekeeping important. There's just so much that happens when a person recovers, but like, it's up to us. It's up to management and your superintendents and your foremen to recognize this. You know what I mean? And get out there and talk to these young men and find out where they're at and help them. And we help them, they will help you. There's no doubt in my mind. I know that, like, on my job sites, these guys outperform like 90% of the other teams that are out there when they come back, because they want to show you how good they can be, and they like it's like a camaraderie. Like, you help them, and now they're there to help you. And a lot of the guys, when they come back to my job site after they've been to treatment, which is usually between, depending on their diagnosis, between 30 to 45 days, and some of them need to go to a 3-quarter house. But when they come back to the job site and they're inspired, they're enthusiastic, like I said earlier, and they want to do their job. And more importantly, when you talk to them, they listen. That is one of the most blessing things that they talked about a lot in recovery, is that, like, that you learn to listen. So a lot of people, and you'll find this out when you're talking to them, especially when they're active in their addiction. When you're talking to them, they're so busy thinking about their defense mechanism and their response that they're not hearing what you're saying. So when you're giving them instructions about how to perform a certain task, and you'll get a lot of "I know" and this and that and the other. I've done this before. This ain't my first job. And what I explain to my guys, it's not that I don't want to we'll say, call micromanage. I don't want to micromanage this project, but at the same time, I want to make sure that you and I are on the same page, and our jobs are performed at a certain level. And the gentlemen from recovery, they can appreciate that, because now they understand and they know what I expect on the job. I expect them to have their hard hat on. I expect them to be wearing safety glasses, and I expect them to have gloves on. And they should be wearing their high vis. A lot of times that's just a t-shirt nowadays. It's not the whole vest, but the guys that are in treatment, when the other gentlemen see them come onto the site and they always have their gear on, then that's contagious. That's contagious. When they see a guy climbing up a Simon panel, and he says, "Oh, wait a minute. Let me grab that ladder for you." And they'll run and grab a ladder for him, and they can get up and down safely. We're not climbing up and down panels anymore. And all that, comes from them being able to listen and understand and like on a group level, like everybody wants to work together. I don't know. At the end of the day, if we start helping these people, there's going to be a ripple effect. It's just like casting that stone out in that pond. You help that one guy, and then that guy there is going to start helping the other people around him, and then people are going to start helping the other, and then all of a sudden your whole team has went from being individualized and self-centered to a group. And a group will beat an individual every time. So when you go to work and you're working as a group, like the left hand knows what the right hand's doing. That group will perform a task so much safer and so much quicker and so much more profitable. You know what I mean? That like the schedule kind of goes out of the way because they're performing at such a level that like you're exceeding your schedule every day. And I don't know. I've been truly blessed, to be able to carry this message of hope, not only just for us in recovery, but on the job site, more importantly, to the owners of the company I am currently employed with, as a union member, that like when we work together, when we take care of our people will take care of us. And I'm just really blessed to be a union carpenter, guys. Thanks. That's all I got.